And that's to make a bit of a light fixture for above here to illuminate my chop saw. It's not really dark, but with the new lighting situation above here, it's not as bright as it used to be. Once upon a time there used to be a light right above this, and it really brightened it up a lot. So I want this to be as cheap and easy to do as possible. I got this old lamp that was down in my basement from, my ancient history. So I'm going to take the socket off of that and use that in this lamp. I reach in there and I can cut the wires off. And it does have screw terminals on there, so I'll just undo those. And then I can attach my new cord right to that after I get everything set up. I've got it temporarily put together to try to figure out how big the thing needs to be. I'm going to measure from the back of the socket here up to the tip of the light, and I've got 9 inches. But I need to be able to unscrew the light bulb too and put it in, so I figure that much for that, and 10 inches at least. I came up with a bit of an idea. It's just a rectangular box that's 6 inches high, 5 inches wide, and 11 inches long. Basically, the thing would sit in here. If this represents the box, it would sit in here like this. There'd be a lens on the bottom and a lens on the top. But looking through my plywood scraps, I could only find this one that was close to what I need, and it is 10 3/4. So I'm going to just cut that down the middle, and it is 22 inches long, so it's more than long enough for this, but I may make that longer. I think that proportion kind of looks funny, so I may go to 14 and 6. I want the box to look neat and have mitered corners, so I'm going to cut them at 45 degrees on my miter saw. It goes most of the way through, but not all the way through. I'm going to cut it 14 inches long, and I've set up a stop block for that. So these are the parts. It looks like they'll go together pretty good. What I need to do next is I need to cut slots in the top edge and bottom edge of the sides and ends for the lens. So the idea is that the lens will be cut the sides and slipped in from the end. So in order to do that, I need to cut the top and the bottom off the end piece so that I can get the thing in. That end piece that I just cut, I need a hole in the middle as well for the fixture to go through. Now that I've got the hole drilled, I can glue it together. I'm just going to use tape to clamp the box across the seams. This masking tape is not very sticky, so I'm going to reinforce it with packing tape. I'm just going to flip it over and get some glue in the joints and close it up again. Okay, moment of truth. Close it up and see how good my miters are. And looks pretty good. I'll get some glue in this joint as well. And I'll get a couple of brads in that to hold it together. I've got a piece of the lens, you could say, that I had on that window back there. Just had it cocked in place, so I'm going to cut that to the right width to fit in here, which is going to be 5 3/8 of an inch wide, and it'll need to be 13 3/4 inches long. So I'll set my saw to 5 3/8 and rip it. This stuff cuts very easily on the table saw. To cross cut it, I'm going to use my table saw sled. It's made a big difference having the table saw sled accessible like this. I use it quite a bit more now that I can easily take it down. There's no garbage piled up inside of it. And I think what I'm going to do is I've got these pieces that I cut off, and if I just finish ripping off this little piece here, then I can put those right in place, and what that would do is leave a slot on the end here for the lens to slip in and out of, and it would look pretty good, I think. So just carefully cut that shoulder off on the table saw. To hold that on, I'm just going to put a little glue on here. I think I've got too much on this end, so that'll be enough for both ends. On there, wipe it on my sweatshirt like a good little pig, and hold that in place again with some more tape. I want the thing pretty much right here, so I want it sticking out past this cabinet a little bit. And the cabinet is 16.5 inches deep. I figure if I come another 4 inches or so, then it's 14 inches, so that should give me good light down onto the miter saw. I'm going to cut this around 20. I got screw holes here that I don't want in there, so I'll just go this side of those. I don't want it to come all the way down and all the way up because I need to be able to slide the lenses out. So I'm going to cut this to 3 inches thick in total, but I want to get the wire through the middle and I don't want to drill a hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to cut a groove down the middle for the wire. So that gives me 2 pieces that when they go together, I've got a channel down the middle that's 3/8 of an inch square. Just going to get some glue on these and clamp them together. Then I can take that and stick it on top of my heater to let it dry. Here's the arm all cleaned up. I trimmed down the sides a little bit. I also drilled a bit of a recess in the end here, and that is for the nut that goes on the pipe. The power cord for the lamp is going to be this cheap extension cord that I bought especially for it. It's a 12-foot long one, and you gotta love all these tags they have on here. I mean, come on. I'm gonna cut those off, although I don't really need to right now. They're just getting on my nerves so much. I mean, what is the world coming to when you need to put this many frigging warning tags on an extension cord? The other end has another tag, believe it or not, and I need my pliers. And I just take that and cut that thing off and throw it away. I need to get the wire put through the arm first, then take that and put it through the pipe like so. Then I can put the pipe and the wire into the box. Then I can put the end for the socket on there, and then I'll actually screw onto the end of the pipe. And I can tighten the nut on the outside here. Now I've got the wire stripped and wrapped around the screw of the terminal. This one has a pull chain as well. I don't know for sure if it's on or off, so I'm going to leave it in place for now. Just pull the wire back until the socket seats in the thing here. Then I can take the cover and screw that on over it. Now I'll just take the light bulb and screw it in. And I can take the cord and plug it in. And I guess the pull switch is off, so I'll just yank on that and there it comes on. Now all I need to do is fish the wire down through this, and then I'm going to stick the pipe into the hole. The pipe doesn't have to be glued in or anything, it's just to hold the socket steady. Then I'm going to make sure it's reasonably square to the head of the fixture and drive in a couple screws. I figured rather than cut off that chain or disconnect it or whatever, I figured I would use it as the switch for the fixture. I mean, it's very convenient. Just reach up above my head and turn it on. So I've drilled a little hole in the lens. I'm going to slide it in place and then fish the chain out through the hole. Now for the fun part, I get to mount it. And that's just to get it up here and push it back tight against the wall. I've already started a couple of screws, and I want to make sure that they are not too long, that they won't go up into the wire. I'm using 1 1/4 inch screws. I plugged it in, now I'll turn it on and see how it looks. I gotta say that there's a big improvement in the amount of light here at the miter it's on now. Well worth the time and effort to do it, especially since it really didn't cost me anything. I used a junk lamp that would have went in the trash. It was actually amongst the stuff that I was going to bring to the dump. Also, I used scrap plywood and the diffuser lenses that I had on the window that also would have went to the dump. So, hope you liked it, and see you next time. I've got it oriented the way it was before. I've got these small screws. Just need to drive them in. I'm going to drive them in until they're snug, and then I'm going to slack them off maybe half a turn.